right, you do whatever that is here. For your now, it's like also for some conditions that I'm going to show you just now. As long as this, whatever that you're going to put here is still valid, then you do whatever that will be inside our curly bracket. Okay, so let's start from where we usually start. So again, you have your pseudocode, you've got your flowcharts, and then you finally come back to what? Your pseudocode. If you look at the flowchart for this, I hope this thing will go up. Don't embarrass me. Go up, go up. Oh God, I just. Okay. Okay. So let's go back here now. Let's change the color. Let's try to take a black one, and then we see. All right. So the pseudocode. So let's assume the question. What can it be the question? Let's say, yeah, I want to. What can be the question that it is? Oh, I'm gonna give you let's do the question that we did last time. Okay. So you check your numbers between, let's say, 1 and 5, and then for every number that's between 1 and 5, you do let's say you do multiplication by 2 and give me the answer. So I want you to do the 2 times table from 1 to 5. Okay, from 1 to 5, but you use the follow, but 2 times table. So when I say 2 times 1 is equal to 1, 2 times 1 is equal to 2, 2 times 2 is equal to whatever up until 2 times 5. But now in this time around, we are using a what? A for loop. Now, how do we go about that? So we obviously for this is set of words. Okay. Here, remember what we said is just like the English spoken way we did. So how do we split this? Step number 1. We want to do, so you declare the what? Declare variables. And then after that, after declaring the variable, you usually, this is where you initialize the variable, right? But for the for loop, we do it a bit differently. So how do we do it? You use a for. Let's assume we are counting from, like I said, we are counting from 1 to 5. So we're using n. For n is equal or less equal to 1. So it's supposed to equal to 1 or less than 5. Equal to 1 or less than 5. Let's do that. That's what we say. Right. Right. So for n is equal to 1, or we can say it's n and less than 5. What you do? You multiply, or you can just say do. Let's say you do the what is it? We have calculation. Do the calculation. We do the calculation, and then we display the results. This will make more sense once we start actually doing it. We display results, and then so you say for n is equal to 1 and n is equal to less than 5. As long as n is less than 5, you keep on doing this. You do the calculation, you display the result, and then you keep on going down it's gonna increment, and then you increment n by 1, okay? Keep on going and doing. Once this is no longer correct, then you're gonna end your input. Okay, let's recap. So basically what we want to do the 2 times table from 1 to 5. Now, in our pseudocode, what we say, we first start by declaring the variable, and then for n is equal to 1 and n is less than 5, what you do the calculations. By calculation, we mean this 2 times 1 is equal to what? 2 times 2. That's the calculation you are doing. And then you displaying the results here, 2 times 2 up until when you get to 2 times 5. So those are the displaying the results. And then you increment. Obviously, once you finish with 1, you need to increment it so that it becomes 2. And then you finish it, increment it so that it becomes 3, and so forth. Right? So you do that, you increment by 1, and then once that is done, once it's no longer less than 5, you end the code. So pseudocode, remember, it's just you talking to it in English. You're writing it in English. Okay, that part is done. All right. Why these things? Now, next part is flowchart. I'm getting irritated by this thing now. Okay, so let's have to put your flowchart in. Okay, now flowcharts, it's similar to what we had in your while loop and your do while, but it's a little bit different. So what do I mean by that? So obviously we start here, and then from start here you're gonna have to declare the variables. So in our case it's n, so we say int n, and then you give your initial value for n is equal to 1. Okay, and then from there we check, is your n less than 5 or less or equal to 5? Less or equal to 5, because we also want to do 2 times 5, don't we? So we say, is your n less or equal to 5? Okay, if yes, this is yes, what do? We display 2 times n is equal to 2 times n. So this will be like that. So this is a C out, so that you don't get confused, because other people will be confused. So C out. So let me show you what I mean here. C out 2 times n equal to 2 times n. Okay, so you just doing 2 times n. N was 1, so 2 times 1 equals to the value of 2 times 1 will be there. And then because it's a for loop, you don't increment here. You don't increment here, you increment outside. What do I mean by increment outside? So you need to come out here, and then you increment here. N is equal to n plus 1. and then you come back here.